A warm welcome to all of you to the concluding part of IBW. I've got a great panel here, and we're gonna. Our topic is, how to onboard more consumers for the wallets that we are creating, and I couldn't have had a better panel addressing this. So, as a layman, and I was doing a panel yesterday, and the MC introduced me as a legacy media. So I don't know where to start with that. But one thing I can tell you as a legacy media, I mean, we understand wallets in some form. So I'm gonna start from there. That how I personally feel wallets are the main gate to W3. So that's where the game starts, right? Whether you are a stakeholder, trade, connect, whatever you do. But what's the next thing in wallets? And I was just hearing two gentlemen speaking backstage, and we were talking about next billion. I think it's not about next billion. It's about onboarding the next billion because they're already there, right? So a great work has already happened. We are already there. So in next 20-odd minutes, I'm going to take these two gentlemen through a bunch of questions to help us understand what's the next opportunity, what are we doing in terms of building the next wallets, and the commerce which it opens up to. But before I start that, I'm going to have a quick introduction for both of you, so a quick introduction, and some milestone for 2026 within the wallet space. So, Rik, you want to go first?
Go on, Rik.
Okay. Jimmy,
yeah, okay.
You've got a flight to catch, so go
too
first.
Too polite. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jamie. I am the CMO at Bitget Wallet. First and foremost, it's my first time actually at an event in India, and it's been tremendous. So thank you very much for your warm welcome. If I was to summarize Bitget Wallet and what it is that we're trying to achieve, we're trying to become the #1 place when it comes to trade, earn, and pay. Now, specific emphasis in 2026 around earn and pay, and I look forward to discussing that in a lot more detail throughout this discussion.
Thanks. There's two #1 wallets out there. So, hi, very nice to meet you. My name is Rik. I'm taking care of global operations at Trust Wallet. Trust Wallet is the biggest mobile crypto wallet out there, and we're very happy that already 40% of all users in India use the mobile crypto wallet of Trust Wallet. So, download it, try it out. Thank you.
So I'll jump on to something specific. In last couple of days, couple of years, we've seen some milestones being achieved. In specific, if you have to give me a sense, what's really that is in store in 2026? Why do you think we are more bullish about the future than what's happened already? So,
yeah, I think it's a really broad question, but let me kind of feedback initially with some of the findings that we thought about this year, to be specific. Listen, I think users, they want simplicity, and I think something that we did extremely well in association with Bitget was the launch of UEX. Now, UEX is the perfect combination, in my opinion, of on-chain DeFi and actually central experience. What do I mean by that? When users go to a centralized exchange, frankly, because they're super easy to use, but actually doing something super complex. Now, traditionally, wallets, if you wanted to bridge over to a separate network or token, or actually maybe stake, the processes and the steps to complete that process were way too complex. And so this is something that we actually learned very early at Bitget and Bitget Wallet, to actually combine the two and create something super powerful. This actually, succumbs to the user's needs in terms of the simplest thing, which is usability. From a wallet perspective, that allows us then to really focus on the next thing that they need. And when we listen to users and we attend events like this, they want more than a wallet. The days of a wallet being just a wallet, in my opinion, are over. We learn a lot from the likes of Trust Wallet. Trust Wallet are exceptional within the space. They've achieved so much in such a long time, and they're very representative of the space. And we learn from all of our competitors. And some of the great things that we've seen some of them do is like earn capability. Now, this year we rolled out the ability to earn for the first time in Wallet. We had yield of up to 18% in association with Aave on USDC, and users actually reacted really well to this. And finally, I'm going to talk about pay. Now, whether that's scanning a QR code or using your Master or Visa card in association with Bitget Wallet, you're now able to pay directly with stable coins in the real world. I mean, just yesterday, I went down to the local market and I used my Bitget Wallet card, and it was a fantastic experience for me locally.
Wow,
You know,
yeah.
the days of having to, transfer cash. I live in Dubai, from the dirham to the Indian rupee. They're no more. I can just use my Bitget Wallet card and spend crypto.
What to add? I think user-centric design is the buzzword of the last 20 years in technology. When I came to the internet 200 years ago, more or less, well, 25 years, and user-centric design was the buzzword. But I feel it still is. The Web3 space is new, and many things are, not ideal as they should be, and very often we come from a tech perspective in order to implement them. But taking the user a little bit more into the center approach in order to translate the amazing technology of blockchain out there is definitely one of the big things, not only for next year, but for the next decade again, because you can iterate and improve and improve and improve on. And I think doing that not just because it's written somewhere on a balanced scorecard or an OKR chart might be important to really mean it. And the second thing which Trust Wallet is focusing on is definitely looking into the local markets, understanding local markets like India much better, understanding how the onboarding works, how users work and use it on a daily basis, what they need and what they would like to see in order to make it more practical in their daily life. That's the two things.
Yeah, very well said. So I think there are broadly two things which differentiates today. One, I think James rightly said that, from moving from seamless to maybe invisible in terms of the UX. But even bigger in a market like India for sure is trust, like your wallet says. So tell us about security protocols or, initiatives that you're taking to make it on those fronts. Rik.
Security is a big topic. We do have an amazing security scam protocol built in, which is warning users this might be a malicious application or this might be, a malicious token. But yeah, people like to click on buttons, although there is a warning. But at the end of the day, I think giving people freedom also means, not telling them what they should do, but maybe advise them, but also giving the opportunity to click either way. Quoting Superman here, with great power comes great responsibility. I would say that's the same for freedom. With great freedom comes great responsibility for you as a user.
Answer, yeah. That's a great answer. My team really wanted me to ask you about the blockchain for youth that you're doing and other initiatives in India. So just give us a sense on that.
Yeah, this year was a huge year for Bitget Wallet, and I'm very proud of the work that we've done from a branding perspective. We actually changed everything from logo to the way that we visualize ourselves, become a lot more human-centric. Now, this is part of the process of which we're trying to package together. Bitget Wallet is representative of people on the ground. So we launched the Crypto for Everyone initiative. You rightly alluded to the Crypto for Youth and Blockchain for Her initiatives. These initiatives are to empower people on the ground locally to have the resources that we provide in the best ability possible. Let me break it down. I'm very proud of my heritage. My father's Egyptian, my mother's English, and I got the opportunity to go into Egypt and actually take this technology firsthand and show them how it works. Now, let me break it down even further. Like, from a payment perspective, and this is a true story in the case of my grandmother, she couldn't open a local bank account. And we talk about empowering people and giving people the tools to succumb to their everyday needs in life. She needed medication, she needed some resource, and it was available on Amazon. I could buy it, I have a bank account. She could not. What we were able to do is we were able to give her a card for the first time of which we can top up, we can send money, and now she has access to services. Now, let me circle this back around. When we talk about blockchain for her and blockchain for youth, this is about empowering people in the purest form. This isn't ultra shilly, this isn't ultra salesy. This is actually educating people on the wonderful thing on blockchain. Whether it's something Trust Wallet do well, whether it's something that Bitget Wallet do, we actually just want people to encompass the best of what actually the blockchain can provide. And this is exactly what these campaigns are about. And Crypto for Everyone, we don't mention Bitget, we don't mention Bitget Wallet. It's about a movement and it's about connecting people with tech.
No, that's something I love about IBW and the initiatives you guys are taking to sort of bring in more awareness. My mother, she's 82. She got her first credit card in life, and she was very excited. So, sometimes things come late, but I think that's where the movement is. You've grown from you've diversified since your inception, and particularly at the company scale that you're doing. What kind of market reach, what kind of movement you're creating at this point in time from a scaling up Trust Wallet?
How much time do you have?
Another 9 minutes to go.
I think the more serious to take a business which is, or in a growing industry itself, and the more you see the depth of what should be done, the longer this list gets. Now, there's a limited amount of resources, there's a limited amount of people you're able to get in order to solve these problems. But I think in general, compliance is a big issue for us, where we want to understand what needs to be done in order to do things correctly. Scam protection of the user is a big thing, because it's unbelievable how fast, absolutely tragically stupid scams are evolving. And here we need to find the right balance between protecting the user, but at the end of the day also giving him the freedom, because that's what this industry is all about. But that's maybe the top topics.
No, you said it very briefly, I would say, but speaks for the overall buzz that we are seeing. There's so much to be achieved, so much to be done, and I think that's quite exciting. Jamie, give us a sense, and this was discussed yesterday also in one of the discussions. So crypto for everyone, you spoke about it, how you used your wallet yesterday. Really, I mean, where do you see it converging? Where do you see it coming? And how soon you see it's going to be a reality?
Yeah, I mean, crypto for everyone, it's a process. I think you've also got to be realistic within this movement, right? You're never going to make crypto for everyone, but you can make it accessible for everyone. I think understanding the point of the process is critical. I think it's working with, even our competitors within the market, making sure that we're competitive in the correct way. We're making sure that we're aligned for that joint vision. Ultimately, from events like this, whether you come and use Trust Wallet, you use Bitget Wallet, or anybody else, ultimately the market wins, and then it's down to our product team, our marketing team, to actually then go and promote our product and build a solid product that people want to use. But ultimately, it's about opening the gateway. It's about encouraging people to come and learn the good, the bad, and the ugly about the space, because frankly, there's a hell of a lot of education that needs to happen around the Web3 space. But actually, it's about allowing people to be attached to a movement, no matter who you are, where you're from, your financial background and setting, and just get involved.
So there was a discussion in the last panel about self-custody versus exchange-linked wallet. So you want to throw some light and educate people. Is there a hybrid? What's the right way, right approach to sort of the differentiating between the two opportunities we are discussing?
A hybrid between exchanges and wallets.
No, you.
Okay, yeah, no problem. In terms of hybrids, I think we've done this very well at Bitget. I can see Ignacio is sat on the front row. He's the CMO of the exchange side, so we work hand in hand on many, many things. And I think something that Bitget have done exceptionally well is they understand users' needs. And I spoke about it in the very first response that I gave. Initially, let's go back maybe 5 years. People want access to DeFi. They want access to it in its simplest form, but it's incredibly complex, and frankly, it's incredibly hard to touch for the average person. So then centralized exchanges come along. You have to KYC, you have to get involved, but actually it's super simple. If you want to buy a token or you want to trade a token, you know what to do. But ultimately, you're very limited to the token set of which then you can go and trade. They have to be listed within the platform to go and take part in it. Now, this is where UEX becomes kind of very unique. It's the perfect concept between the two. So if you pull together access to DeFi, access in its simplest form from a centralized user experience point of view, and you pull them together, that is where we need to come. And I think that's frankly where wallets are, and I think Trust Wallet and Bitget Wallet do a great job of that. But actually, you see exchanges like Bitget do a tremendous job in pushing this, and frankly, it gives users choice, and that choice is accessible.
Interesting. So I'm not going to bother Rik with that one, but I'm going to...
Too bad I would have had some good things, but yeah. So no, it's fine.
So it'll be unfair if I don't ask you guys about the regulatory framework, around the world. Give me top 3 geos that you're working around, and any specific advice for India.
Can you say it again?
The regulatory framework. I mean, what you would desire, what you're experiencing in some markets, which has worked for you, for the advantage of the adoption. I mean, any thoughts around that?
Can you say it without microphone, because I don't understand you?
The regulatory framework, I know there's a lot of things. The regulatory framework for India or any other markets that you operate in, what's working, what's not? I think there's
It's good
a
that
lot of
it's my
echo
turn,
here.
right?
But
Okay.
yeah.
Why do I get the easy questions? So the regulatory framework, I think, is something which, on the one hand side, should be pretty easy, because at the end of the day, what we're doing is nothing different than what banks are doing, just with more freedom. On the other side, I do understand that many regulators are struggling to find common path. On the one hand side, because there is a negative connotation to the crypto and blockchain industry itself. So, many people who don't understand the technical details of the blockchain industry, and here you need to be very, very well educated because it's a massive piece, might think this is only gambling and betraying. So I don't think that there is some positive or extraordinary positive examples out there. I mean, I'm coming from Switzerland, and I'm happy that I'm living in a country that already 2016-17 has the first DLT law, which regulated roughly, hey, what you're doing is more or less what banking industry is doing. So for you, more or less the same applies. Just now translating it one by one to the industry. MiCA in Europe is, I don't know. MiCA 1 was kind of okay-ish, but MiCA 2 is already getting complicated. And then you need to have massive compliance team in order to understand what they really want. And then the fun thing in Europe is, because we're many different countries, every country interprets the law differently. And now the UK decided that they have an own opinion as well. But I'm not talking about the Brits here. I think one country which did it really interesting, very well already a few years ago is Mexico. They set the bar relatively high in order to enable financial inclusion, but at the same limit money laundering to the max. So the monthly limit for people in Mexico to on and off board without KYC is $1,000. Now you might argue this is too much or is not enough, but I think when we talk about money laundering, a few thousand US dollars, this is maybe illegal, but this is not hurting anybody, sorry. But what we really want to avoid is, real criminal people laundering millions. That's what, is stopping an industry from growing, and not you and me. We're not, I don't know about you but millions, that's complicated. So something between enabling and putting the right barriers so that we're able to grow in a compliant way.
Brilliant answer. I was at the Singapore FinTech Festival a couple of weeks back, and we had a panel of governors of few interesting nations speaking about how it's not from a policy, but from a need case that there has to be a strong framework and regulatory freedom for blockchain and crypto to grow. So I think there's conversation around that which is taking place because just from the need case. So a guy like me actually started using Binance because customers wanted to pay, and that's how it started. So Jimmy, you want to take up on the framework, and then I've got a final question for both of you.
Yeah, I think I'll keep it brief because I can see the time as well. But I think, I think very often we villainize the Web3 space. Without crypto, there's still fraud, there's still scams, there's still bad people. Crypto doesn't enable that. And I think the moment we remove that victim mentality around the technology of which we're trying to do, actually there's an awful lot of good that comes from regulations. And away from regulations, organizations talk to each other, whether it's Bitget Wallet, Trust Wallet, and there's a bad user or a bad wallet address. We've got the ability to report these, and we work with local authority. And while I'm here, I just want to give credit to the FIU. I think they do a great job in supporting organizations to abide by regulations and actually support the community to not only engage in local services, but actually become educated in the right way.
Absolutely. And in fact, I was in one of the events, and Australian Chinese met me, and he spoke about something called Jamtara, which both of you might not understand, but some of us would. So risks are everywhere, right? So a parting note from both of you on the future of crypto in India. Before we end, it's already showing 0, but one last line on crypto in India.
Super bullish on crypto in India. Actually, this week we're here, and we're here to learn from users on the ground. We announced a great product announcement yesterday, our USDT marketplace in Bitget Wallet. So if you don't know what that is, it's the ability to now on-ramp Indian rupees and then trade directly in Bitget Wallet. It's a great positive step forward. We're here to stay. We want to become the best place for all users to pay, trade, and earn. So if you like what you heard today, please go and check us out.
Question to the audience. Who is bullish? I want to hear something. Okay, 2 people are bullish. How many people are really bullish? Cool. Same here.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Rik. Thank you, Jamie. You've been wonderful. Have a safe flight back. Thank you.